What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to talk about my own personal tier list about the legendary heroes in the game, giving you some information based on my experience on the game. So I haven't tried all the heroes, but based on what I know about the mechanics of the game, I'm able to give you some tips about the heroes that are better than others. For example, controls are really strong in that game and better than single target damage. So we are going to talk about that. Okay, so first of all, let's begin with the A tier here. So let's talk about Uzaku. In order to talk about the hero, I'm gonna go directly in the game, and so we are gonna have a deeper look on the hero. So here we are. This is Uzaku. This is a thief, so he has a great move range and a nice attack range. So he needs to be behind the target. You need to move 3 times with him in order to release his skill. And his skill is a single target attack, 200% of his own attack. So it's a big damage skill. But you can't choose the target. It's gonna be released on the target with within the range attack and with the lowest amount of HP, and then you are going to inflict a burn debuff. Okay, so if you are in arena, for example, in real-time arena or in adventure, you have to be careful about the hero on which you are going to release that skill. Otherwise, if you have a hero with only 10 HP and next to a hero with the 200, then you are going to kill the one with a low amount of HP, and the other one is going to stay alive. Okay, so in that game, you want some great AoE attacks. You have Asteroth, for example, dealing a great amount of 8 damage, and this is a thief. You have to move him 3 times, and if the enemy control your heroes, then you are not going to be able to move, and you want to be able to use your skill. This is the truth about that game, okay? You have some other heroes, for example the sorcerers, who are great because every time you're going to use a spell, even if you are controlled, then you can still reduce the skill counter and use your skill when you are not controlled anymore. And same about the warriors. When you take some attacks on your warriors, then even if you are controlled, it's lowering the counter of your skill. And here it is not the case. So this is clearly not the best skill you can have in the game. It's interesting in terms of damage, maybe against a boss if you want to deal more damage, but outside of that, in all content, this is not going to be a great hero to have. So let's talk about the next one. If you have a look to the tier list, we are going to talk about verdundi, okay? So if you have a look to verdundi here, some heroes will place her in the S tier. Tell me what do you think about that in the comment below. This is a berserker. That means she needs to attack 3 times in order to release her skill here. So it's going to remove the debuffs on her and one ally with the lowest amount of HP on the surrounding blocks. So it's interesting to have a clean. It would be better if it was all the heroes in the map, but it's not the case. On the hero with the lowest amount of HP next to verdundi, this is not that great. Then she's gonna increase her attack by 60% and the attack of your other heroes by 60% and grant another action. In order to use another action, you need another action point. So this is clearly not the best hero to take another action. She is gonna have an attack buff on 2 heroes only, cleans on 2 heroes only, and you have better heroes. If you want an attack buff, you have Sonia, for example, to grant it to your entire team. You have Raphael capable of doing that. She is not that much a great hero. And in order to use that skill, you need to attack 3 times. So if you are controlled, even if enemies attack you, or if they attack you but you are not in range, then it won't lower your attack, your skill counter here. So clearly not the best option to have. Let's talk about the next one. We have Ophelia. She can be interesting, but she is situational. If you have a look to Ophelia, where is she? Come on, Ophelia, here. She is an archer, so she's gonna have a lot of attack, deal a lot of attack to enemies, and her skill, this is a passive. She's gonna deal more damage to enemies under freeze, debuff. This is interesting, but 250% of attack, a great damage. She's gonna be interesting if you are playing the dark spells to freeze enemies or enemies such as Miro. She is situational, okay? She can release a crazy amount of damage, but you need absolutely to use freeze on enemies and to freeze them before attacking. You have some specific spells to control enemies to put a freeze if you are playing with the dark spells, but outside of that, she is not gonna be that great. And against the boss, you can't freeze bosses, so you won't be able to deal in damage increase. So she is situational in real-time arena. She's gonna be interesting, probably also in the Colosseum against the waves, multiple enemies if you freeze them. Miro is an interesting hero. Vivian is an interesting hero too. So if you have both of them, play them with Ophelia, and then she's gonna become an A tier and maybe above that. Yeah, 250% attack is gonna be a great, trust me, an amazing amount of damage if you have the specific heroes and spell. Maybe it could be an S hero. Tell me what do you think about that in the comment below. I have to try her because I have her. I'm gonna try her with some freeze and we are gonna see her potential in other videos, and then probably I'm gonna update the tier list based on your comments also. It can help me a lot. Next hero is Claudia. If you have a look to Claudia here, she is a berserker, so she has this attack range and move range, and after releasing 3 attacks, she can deal some extra damage to a single target with the highest attack within the attack range and stun the target for 1 turn. Situational and not that great. You have some heroes capable of stunning or sleeping all enemies on the map, or freezing them 3 random enemies, and this is not the case. Only 1 target. You can freeze only 1 target. The damage are going to be interesting, a bit lower than Esperanza's damage, but you can inflict a stun. But this is clearly a bad hero in my opinion. Tell me what you think about that in the comment below. Maybe Ophelia deserves an A. Maybe she doesn't deserve an S at all. Ophelia deserves an S maybe, but she doesn't. Next hero is going to be Bartlomew. He is a single target archer here, interesting for the attack range. Here his skill can be interesting in the Colosseum to increase your attack and to inflict some poisons to enemies, so you are gonna deal some damage over time. It's gonna be a nice hero in Colosseum, but if you are willing to play him in the adventure or the real-time arena, he is clearly gonna be underwhelming. He is not gonna deal a lot of damage. If you have a look to the real-time battle, he's gonna get some attack speed increase, and this is why he's gonna really deal a lot of damage. Also, against bosses, in the Tower of Ordeal, or against bosses in the guild boss, for example, or the wall boss, the rail boss, he's gonna be interesting in terms of damage, but outside of that, he doesn't deserve an S, okay? You have better solutions. So, after that hero, you have Hotaru. If we have a look to Hotaru here, Hotaru, where is she? Hotaru, here she is. Okay, Hotaru is another archer with that attack range and move range, so she needs to release 3 attacks in order to deal some damage on 4 random enemies, 110% attack damage, and then move back 1 block. Okay, she's gonna move back. This is interesting in terms of damage. You target 4 enemies, 110% of attack on all enemies. You need to attack 3 times. Yeah, you know what? I think she deserves an S for the damage. 4 enemies at random, 110% of attack. This is a great AoE attack, okay? So probably she deserves to have an S. And then she's gonna move back 1 tile. And she is an archer, so she can stay away from enemies, and I think this is an interesting hero. S tier probably. I had her in the A tier, but probably she deserves an S. Tell me what you think about that in the comment below. The next hero is going to be Esperanza. And if you have a look, she is in the A tier, in my opinion, okay? If you have a look to Esperanza here, she is a berserker, so she can move and attack in that range. Her attack is a single target attack, dealing 6 times 30% of her attack to a single target. Clearly 180% of attack on a single target, and then inflict an attack decrease. It can't work against a boss. And if you are in a real-time arena, for example, if you are using that, then you don't care. If you are using a hero to deal a lot of damage, it's better to kill the target directly. You don't care about the attack down. And the damage on Nodine insane. You have way better heroes. Take Hotaru, for example. She can deal 4 times 110% attack of damage. This is the equivalent of 440% attack, and here this is only 180 to a single target. No, clearly not. She deserves an A tier. Tell me what you think about the hero in the comment below. Next tier is going to be the S tier. So we are going to talk about Elise first. Elise is interesting. Where is she? Where is Elise? Okay, this is Elise. She is a warrior, and she has an interesting skill. If you have a look, when she takes 3 attacks, then you are gonna be able to deal some damage to all the enemies in your attack range, so you can target 3 heroes at once. You are gonna relocate them on random locations, and you are gonna stun them all. So in total, she can release 450% of attack damage on 3 targets and stun 3 targets. So yeah, great control, great damage depending on your position on the battlefield, and relocation is just amazing, and it's gonna help you a lot. So she deserves the S tier. Then you are gonna have Raphael. Raphael, where is he? Here he is, okay? He is a berserker, so you need to release 3 attacks, but he deserves the S tier because he is gonna grant a 50% attack increase to all your heroes for 2 turns, and also if you are using him in Colosseum, for example, or in the Mayhem, then he is gonna apply the 50% attack increase after 4 seconds only, and this is gonna help you a lot to increase your damage in these specific contents. So yeah, he deserves the S tier in my opinion. Next hero is gonna be Lancelo. This is an interesting hero, but that hero is given to you for free on the story mode, on the adventurer. So interesting because this is a warrior, so every time he's gonna take 3 attacks, he's gonna be able to heal himself just a bit, okay, this is not a lot, and grant a shield buff to all your heroes. When you have a shield, the next attack will deal 0 damage on your heroes, and it's gonna remove the shield. So it's situational, but it's really interesting in some specific content. Really interesting, and he is given, so he deserves an S. Next hero is gonna be Valkyrie. She's interesting because first of all, she is an archer, and if you have a look to her kit, after 3 attacks, she's gonna remove the buffs on all enemies, AoE strippers all enemies, and inflict some damage equal to 45% of attack on all enemies. If there are 5 enemies, then you are gonna deal more than 200% damage in total, and remove all the buffs from them. It's situational to have the remove buffs, but it can help a lot. You have many shields, defense buff, attack buff in PvP, so yeah, she is really interesting, and she is a ranged hero, so yeah, she deserves the S tier. Next hero is gonna be Mikoto. I hesitate to put him in the SS tier because her skill is situational, but can be really interesting if you are careful about your skills and your moves with other heroes. She is a thief, so she has a great move range and attack range, and when she moves 3 times, she is gonna get another action, so you need another AP, but she's gonna give you 2 more APs. That means if you are using her with other heroes, if you are playing her in the first attack, second attack, because if you are full AP, you need to use 2 heroes, and so you are gonna get 2 AP. And then she's gonna get an attack buff on her. you have an extra attack, and you can do another spell maybe, or another attack with another hero, and so it can help you a lot, but I don't think that it deserves an SS tier. Tell me what you think about that in the comment below, but giving 2 more AP during a turn can be game changer in my opinion. And in real-time battle, she is gonna get more attack speed, more attack, and get another additional attack speed buff. So yeah, she is great to deal damage against enemies in the Colosseum or the Mayhem. Really interesting hero. She deserves clearly the S tier. Next hero is gonna be Dryas. If you have a look to Dryas here, she is really interesting, and yeah, by far she deserves the S tier. She is a thief, so she needs to move, but if you use her skill here after 3 turns, she's gonna have a free movement buff. You will be able to move on every tile in the battlefield. This is insane, and every time you are gonna attack a target, you are gonna put a sleep debuff on the target. Permanent control. Awesome, and she's gonna get a 60% attack increase for 2 turns. Only on her, but it's still really interesting. And look at that, in a real-time battle, she's gonna move a random enemy, she's gonna move to a random enemy location, so she's gonna get behind an enemy, and then you're gonna able to stun the target, to attack, to have more attack and more attack speed. So in the Colosseum, in the Mayhem, she's gonna be really awesome in my opinion. Great hero. The next one is gonna be Artemis. She is another archer, and if you have a look to her kit here, she, after 3 turns, is able to get another action with an attack buff, 50% attack buff, and if you are using the skill on the second half during the battle, she's gonna heal herself 35% of her HP, which is a lot. So she has a great survivability, and she'll deal a crazy amount of damage in range. 50% attack buff with an extra turn, you need 2 AP to use that, but it can help you a lot. And she is a ranged hero, so great hero. Next hero is gonna be Freya, but be careful using Freya. Her skill cannot work against the boss, and if you have a look to it, she can inflict a charm on the enemy with the highest amount of attack, put an unhealable on the target, and an attack buff increase 100% more attack during your turn. That means the enemy, if you have to be careful, because if the enemy with the highest amount of attack has a control or another debuff, lowering his attack for example, he won't be able to attack, or he will deal not enough damage. It can't work against the boss, so it's really situational, but in the right situation, if you are using that, she deserves an S. Next hero is gonna be Thea. If you have a look to Thea here, she's a warrior with an interesting passive here. Every time she's gonna use an attack, she is gonna get a 10% attack increase, a permanent buff, and she is gonna increase the skill condition count of the enemy attacked by 1 turn. If, for example, you have an enemy, a thief or a warrior in front of you, Ifrit, for example, if Ifrit has a 2 turns cooldown, if you attack Ifrit, then you are gonna increase her skill to 3, and this is just amazing. Situational but amazing. This is the only hero capable of that, and her attack can be really nice. If you are using her with some great spells to heal her, protect her, all the time she's gonna have a crazy amount of attack, and the skill count condition +1 is just amazing in all situations against enemies. Not bosses, it's working against bosses, yeah. It's working against bosses. Then you're gonna have Sonia in S tier in my opinion. She is a thief with an amazing skill here. Remove buffs on all enemies in the attack range, and then grant a 50% attack increase to all your heroes for 2 turns. Generally, I love moving her directly at the beginning of the fight, once every turn, if I can. And then after 3 turns, I have an attack increase on all my heroes, I remove buffs on enemies if I need to, and then I deal a crazy amount of damage with all my entire team. So she is great to use. She doesn't deserve an SS tier in my opinion, but she deserves the S tier. Next hero is gonna be Ifrit, okay? If you have a look to Ifrit, if you buy the pass, you can get her for 20 euros, something like that, I think, or 10 euros, I don't remember. She is interesting because she is a warrior. Every time she takes 3 attacks, she can inflict an AoE attacks on all enemies in front of her, in the line, okay? And 200% of her attacks. This is a great AoE attack if you have a lot of heroes in front of you. So yeah, she deserves the S tier. And finally, the SS tier heroes. The first one is gonna be Limnoria. Here, she is a thief with an AoE skill attack here and an AoE sleep. It's gonna deal 70% of attack on all enemies on the map. This is a great attack, okay? 5 times 350% attack damage in total after moving 3 times and sleep the entire enemy's team. This is absolutely great. And if you are in real-time battle, she can stun enemies and she can stun bosses. Yeah, she can stun bosses. So guild bosses can be stunned. She is an amazing hero deserving the SS tier for sure. The next one is gonna be Enthusiast. So Enthusiast normally is here. She is a wizard and she's gonna be great because after 3 spells used, she can inflict a sleep debuff on 3 random enemies and heal all your heroes. The heal is not gonna be insane, 5% only, but it's still interesting, and control enemies like that without moving, without attacking with her, using only spells from range. This is great in my opinion, so she deserves an SS. I hesitate between S and SS. Tell me what you think about that in comment below, but in my opinion, this is a great hero. The next one is gonna be Bunny. Bunny is another wizard, and if you have a look to her skill here, after using 3 spells, she is gonna lower the attack of all enemies by 35% on all enemies. This is so great for 1 turn, and inflict burn and poison damage on them for 2 turns on all enemies. Great AoE damage over time, and it's awesome to have an attack decrease on all enemies. You are gonna be safer using her. So she deserves, in my opinion, the SS tier because this is a wizard. She can attack from range, and so she can be really great. Next hero is gonna be Vivian. Another great, amazing hero, another wizard. After using 3 spells, you are gonna deal damage on all 3 random enemies, 85% of attack in total, and freeze them. You are using 3 spells, and you freeze 3 enemies. This is just insane, and dealing some extra damage to them. I love that hero. I don't have her sadly, but I would use her. I don't have her yet. And then another great hero, it's gonna be Lilith here. Amazing hero. Clearly, this is a thief. After moving 3 times, you are gonna inflict damage equal to 185% of attack on the enemy with the lowest HP within the attack range. Okay. But you are gonna reduce the enemy AP by 3 on the next turn, and this is just amazing. You have 5 AP. Imagine using that, then the enemy will be able to use only 2 APs. This is just insane. One of the best skill in the game. You are disabling the 1 turn of the enemy. He won't be able to use all his spells, and he won't be able to use all his heroes. Amazing hero, game changer. If you can cast that spell, you are gonna get a huge advantage during the fight. Next, the hero is gonna be Merlin here. He is another amazing wizard. Every time you're gonna cast 3 spells, you are gonna heal the ally who has received the most damage for 200% of Merlin's attack. So normally you have a lot of attack, and so you are gonna heal a lot your heroes, so it's gonna be insane. And after that, you are gonna inflict a shackle debuff on 3 random enemies, so they won't be able to move for 1 turn. This is an amazing hero. And also in real-time battle, he can inflict a stun on enemies for 3 turns. For 2 seconds on 3 random enemies. This is also amazing. This is a crazy, efficient wizard. If you have him, this is gonna be insane. And then the next hero is gonna be Asteroth. She is an amazing damage dealer from range. Another wizard, and after casting 3 spells, you are going to inflict damage equal to 90% of her attack on the enemy with the lowest HP and 50% of her attack on the all surrounding enemies. This is great. Trust me, she deals a crazy amount of damage on all enemies with that. So it's situational, you have to be careful. Normally I love to attack the enemy in the middle of the formation of the opponent, and then I release her skill and I deal a crazy amount of damage to all enemies. This is really nice. This is a sorcerer, a wizard, so she can use that after 3 spells. Amazing hero. And finally, the last hero of the tier list is gonna be Miro here. Another amazing hero. She is a warrior, amazing in all content in the game. When she takes 3 attacks, and you can take some attacks when you get counter-attacked, then you can heal all your heroes for 10% of HP and freeze 3 random enemies for 1 turn. This is amazing. You can't freeze bosses. Of course, you can stun them and you can't freeze them. I don't know why, but she's gonna be nice in all content, giving you a huge advantage. If you're using her in Mayhem, for example, put her in the front line, and so she's gonna take some attacks, stay alive, freeze the next heroes to pop, and she's just amazing. Heal your heroes, amazing hero. So that was all for the tier list, and something else to talk about here. The contract, after 14 days it resets. You can choose another hero, and this is so perfect. After 14 days you can do that. Amazing thing. And if you cancel the contract, for example, if I get the 10 first here, I want to cancel the contract, you can do another contract, okay? So that was all for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If it's the case, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and then see you in the next one. Bye bye.